Today I am going to walk you through making your own pure Castile soap, the liquid version. That means instead of making bar soap using sodium hydroxide as the lye, we are going to use potassium hydroxide as our lye today. And making Castile soap can be a little nuanced. It's a little bit different from hot processing regular bar soap. So come along with me and we are going to do this. And if I'm lying, I'm dying. Whenever I make hot processed soap, it gives me a lot of anxiety. It's just because it's out of my realm of comfort. I am a cold processed soap girly through and through. So when I make hot process, it's against everything I know. And when it starts looking like mashed potatoes, I'm like, oh, there's something wrong, and it's completely normal. If you have not watched any of my videos yet, my name is Ruby. I am from Red Feather Farm. Most of my handles on other social media is Red Feather Farm, Ohio. I share all kinds of homestead content from goats to canning to dehydrating, meals in jars, and I know a whole lot about soap. Some people say I'm a Jill of all trades. If I don't know it, I'll figure it out. So come along with me and let's make some soap today. All right, let's get started making some liquid Castile soap. And since it's a hot process soap, meaning we are gonna cook it, I'm gonna use my crock pot. Yes, I'm gonna call it a crock pot because it's what I call it. It's not a crock pot, it's not a slow cooker, it's a crock pot. So start by taking the insert of your slow cooker and we're gonna put it on our scale, tare it so it's down to 0, and we're gonna measure our oils out straight into that insert. And for it to be legitimate, pure Castile soap, you have to use olive oil. So measure that out. If you're using my recipe, you need 2 pounds of olive oil. And if you want the complete recipe that's in a free printable format, head over to my website. So once you get that measured out, I'm going to add glycerin as well. And the reason I add vegetable glycerin to liquid Castile soap or any Castile soap is because olive oil is a menace to society to get that thing to emulsify. What glycerin does is works as a solvent to force that olive oil to really want to emulsify with the lye in the water. What happens is if you do it without glycerin, which you can, but you run the risk of you blend it for the rest of your life. Your arm hurts, your stick blender smoking, possibly burnt up. You turn your back on that crack pot and turn back around, there's going to be olive oil floating in the top, which means it was incompletely emulsified. And it is so frustrating. So, for my mental health, I went looking and trying to figure out what could help this process move a little bit faster and found that glycerin did it. So, that's what I do. And I do an all olive oil soap, so it's still a Castile soap, in my opinion, and glycerin is just extra water. So, if you're doing glycerin and water, your lye to water ratio for this recipe would be 2.5 parts of water to 1 part of lye, that being 1.5 parts of water and 1 part of glycerin. If you do not want to use the glycerin, I'd give it a pretty hefty water discount and either do equal parts of lye and water or like 1.1 parts water to lye, like nothing more, just so you don't have too much water and you can really force that emulsification to happen. Now, we're going to make our lye solution. Use a lye safe container. This old cottage cheese container is actually lye safe. It has a recycle logo 5, so that's what I use. Measure out your water first. You can measure your lye out into a separate container, whatever works for you. I got a pretty steady hand, so I just measure it directly in. Just remember, add lye to water. If you add water to lye, you will die. It will potentially volcano out and burn your eyeballs off. And let's not do that. So if you don't know how to make soap, let's start with lye safety, glove, goggles, have some long sleeves on, do some research on that because I'm not going to tell you everything you need to know. Just know that lye is super basic and can cause burns. Don't burn yourself. It's not hard. Just be smart. Now stir that lye until it dissolves, and then it's going to have to sit for like 1 or 2 minutes till it gets clear. You don't want to add the cloudy liquid into your soap. It needs to be at least clear. We don't have to worry about cooling this because this is hot processed soap. Everything's getting hot. I forgot to tell you, I turn my crock pot on and heat my oils while I do my lye. Oils. Sound like my great grandma. So when you are adding the lye solution to your oils, dump that down the side of your stick blender. That really helps prevent splashing because it just kind of runs down the stick blender into the oils. I give it a couple pulses and then I start mixing it. Now you will notice with this soap batter specifically, it starts as like creamy, as you'll see here. Then I'm gonna speed it up because I think I blended for like 8 or 9 minutes. Like it's a lot of blending, and this is with glycerin. So think about how much blending you're gonna do if you don't have it. If you guys hear banging and stuff, I have feral children in my house, and I cannot control them. They live here too. It'll go through this like gritty phase right here, and this is where the anxiety sets in. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's racing. Like my soap batch is going bad. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. It's hot process. Calm down. You just got to keep blending, and eventually it goes back to a nice creamy. And right here is probably where I could have stopped, but I just kept blending because I'm always so unsure, and you're not going to hurt anything. And you can also check your trace, just see where your soap sits on the top when you do that. If it does sit on the top and leave like a line, you know you've hit some type of trace. Now, for me, I still don't trust olive oil. So once I put that lid on, I check it in 5 minutes just to make sure it's not going to separate. And it usually doesn't. It never has since I started using glycerin. So this is where it's mostly waiting. Every 30 minutes, you are going to leave your crock pot on low and you're just going to give it a really good stir. That's all you have to do. Set another timer. So for me, on my phone, I set a timer for 3.5 hours and a timer for 30 minutes. And every time that 30-minute timer goes off, I just reset it and then stir it. And with my crock pot, I can leave it on low the whole time, and it usually stays between 180 and 200 degrees. You do not want it to get hotter than that. While I'm stirring my life away, I'll give you some information in case you're an experienced soap maker and you want to run this recipe through a soap calculator to either resize it bigger or smaller. I do a 1% super fat with all my Castile soaps, which is normal. It's usually 1 to 2. I do 1. And then your water to lye ratio, like we talked earlier, is 2.5 parts water to 1 part lye. And you can put that into the calculator. And if you break down the water and you're using glycerin, it's 1.5 parts water and 1 part of glycerin. And I use vegetable glycerin, which is sustainably sourced. I think it's made from palm. I do not add any fragrance or essential oils to this, and it is 100% olive oil. So you can run that through a soap calculator, resize it however the heck you want, and it'll work. So now we're going to test to see if this Castile is done. First thing you can do is a small glass of distilled water. I could have gotten a clear jar, guys, but that would involve me walking downstairs, and that was just too much today. So you're getting a coffee cup. And you just want to stir this in, and it does take a little bit of time to get it to stir in what's the word I'm looking for, dissolve into the water, and it gets very, very sudsy. So you're going to see I'm going to be whisking my life away. And what you're looking for with this is you want the water to be completely clear. If you don't get all of that Castile soap dissolved, that's fine. It'll look like a little yellow chunk, but you want the water to be clear. If it's cloudy, your soap is not ready. If you want to get rid of the bubbles on top so you can look at it faster, just spray it with some rubbing alcohol. I think I have 91% that I spray on top of my soap because it's good at getting rid of bubbles. And I'll show you it works very, very well. Just give it a few squirts on top. Those bubbles will be gone, and you can look at the water. And sorry, there's no way you're going to be able to see this, but it is clear. I promise. And I'm going to look at it for a little bit and be like, oh, I don't know. I'm always so unsure. But there's another test you can do. Check the pH. Use a pH strip. Now, the proper way to do this is probably to put a little bit of water on the top, stir it up with your finger, and then dip it. But I did both, and I got the same thing. So I just dipped the strip straight into the liquid soap and make sure it's between 8 and 9, which is green for my strips and probably every strip. I don't know if it's like a baseline. Once we're done, we've verified that it's ready. I obviously unplug the crock pot and I move the insert and let it cool for just a few minutes and give it a good stir because I just don't want to start putting it into jars when it's super, super hot. Number one, it's going to burn my hand while I hold the jar. And number two, you don't want to break jars. I store everything in jars. Like, you can put hot stuff into room temperature jars, but like, it's fine. So I like to store this as a soap paste. Instead of completely diluting this whole thing into a liquid that I have to store at like 2 gallons, I do little 8-ounce jars. So then those little 8-ounce jars will make 1 quart of Castile soap, which will last me quite a bit of time. So what I do is I take that paste out of that jar, put it into a quart jar, and then fill that quart jar up with distilled water. It's super easy. What it does, what you need to do is you just put that paste in your jar and then give it a stir, put a lid on it, and let it sit for like 24 hours. You're going to think, oh my gosh, this is not going to even mix in with the water. Like, what's going on? It looks awful. After 24 hours, you're going to be like, okay, it's working. Give it another good stir, let it sit for another day. And at that point, you should have a nice diluted liquid soap. And this is like the diluted version you would buy at the store that you would further dilute down if you're going to use for like shampoo or mopping or that, or you can directly put it on something like if you're cleaning your tub or something, or use it as dish soap and just dump a little bit in your dishwater. Super easy. And here you can see how sudsy it is. This is just cleaning the crack pot insert. That's all it is. And it, like, I did at least 2 loads of dishes off of the suds in that crack pot insert alone. So with that low super fat, you think it would kind of dry your hands out, and it doesn't. Look how sudsy it is. Like, it makes you feel so supple and soft and wonderful. I hope this video was informative and empowers you to want to make your own Castile soap instead of buying it from the store. It's a lot cheaper to make it for yourself, and it's a lot of fun. So this little batch gave me quite at least 1.5 gallons of diluted ready to use Castile soap when I need it. You can use it to clean your house as shampoo, body wash, dish soap, laundry detergent, all kinds of stuff. Next, I'm going to show you how to make the bar version of Castile soap, which is what I like to use in my powder laundry detergent. If you have any questions, throw them down below. Know that if you want the printable version of this recipe, it can be found on my website, which is redfeatherfarmohio.com. Search the blog, just type in Castile soap, it'll come up for you. See you later.